I think it must have been 2010 that I saw them in the summer in the park. And it was like, I think early 2011 when I finally went up to him in Funkbox. After that is when I went crazy, started like researching what is the hustle online. I saw a lot of ballroom styles at that point. It was very like, to me, in my mind, a ballroom dance. But it was different from what Jeff was doing still. So that was what was kind of confusing to me. And I would ask him, like, you teach me on 1, 2, 3, but why is Nicole moving so fast? And he's like, oh, that's just us feeling it. But you got to get the basics down first. I loved Nicole's interpretation. It's not just that they were moving faster to house music. The house music inspired a new rhythm. So they were even going faster than the house rhythm. They were like double timing it. And Jeff wasn't even aware of this. He was just feeling free and dancing. What was interesting about Jeff and Nicole also is that they were adding so many like freestyled elements. Like if you looked at Jeff's footwork, it was never based off of the N1, 2, 3. He would teach the followers that, but his footwork was always free. When he was dancing, he would just be more of like a housey vibe, you know, like a lot of hops, a lot of skips, jumps. And Nicole was very swift. So when he would move faster than the N1, 2, 3, she would just like flow with it. And they knew each other's movements and they practiced a lot. So within that, they were able to create a lot of really cool patterns and a lot of really cool flashy tricks and stuff like that. It was very eye-catching. Whenever I would meet up with them, they would be like in the park practicing and huge crowds would form around them. Not only in the club were they like legendary because they would go in the cyphers and kill it and be so respected there, but they would go out on the street and just regular bystanders would form crowds around them. I never even had this magic with Jeff. Like this was really like Jeff and Nicole magic, okay? People would come up to Jeff and just ask him like, do you teach? Or how can I, get involved? And he was just like, no, we're just doing it for fun. At the same time, Jeff was also teaching people in clubs for free, just for fun, like the way he taught me. It was all just, for the love of it, and it wasn't to gain anything. I'm over here looking at him like, are you out of your mind? Like, you're just teaching all these people for free, having this regular job. You should start teaching classes. That's what I told him. He's like, no, because, the old schoolers, they always say I'm doing it wrong. They're always saying you're going too fast and this and that. I don't want to teach a class. And so I had to do some convincing, but I was like, you should just, if you don't want to call it hustle, like give it your own name, because you really are doing your own thing. Because I was studying what the hustle was at that time, and I was noticing that what he and Nicole were doing was different. So I was like, you are doing it differently, but it is relevant because people like what you are doing. I like what you're doing. I want to learn. Finally, I was able to convince him to put together a class. So he taught his first workshop, and then, that's when we got flack. This isn't hustle, blah, blah, blah. So that's when we were really like, okay, we should give it a new name. And so Jeff wanted to call it New Style Hustle. I thought it was kind of a triggering sort of name. I'm kind of like a worrywart, and I'm always caring about what other people think. So in my mind, I'm like, oh God, they're gonna feel old, they're gonna feel insulted or this and that. But then again, like, I'm not Jeff, and I didn't have the experiences that Jeff had. And I know now that, like, before he met me, I know all the hate that he got for what he was doing with Nicole. And it was stupid hate because he wasn't gaining anything. So for people to hate on him for just dancing freely in the park, is stupid. Either way, we're going to have to deal with it. So if we just called it hustle, they're going to say, you're doing it wrong. If we call it something else, they're going to say, well, that's just hustle. You're just doing hustle, So they didn't actually appreciate what everyone else was appreciating because we were in a different scene.